We are coming out of we've come out of level 4, we're in level 3 at the moment, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I suppose the trick is easing out of lockdown and not just going crazy and doing all the things that you haven't done for a month over the weekend. Joining us on the program now from her safe lockdown bubble, Tanya Unkovich. Kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time today.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How's level 3 for you guys?
Well, actually, level 3 was a bit of a celebration, I've got to say. Even though it isn't that different, it was just the thought that we were at level 3 that kind of released the pressure, you know? So isn't it interesting? Just that thought made us feel a little bit freer.
And it is that, I suppose, knowing that we are tracking in the right direction. And even if you don't, spend all of the time running up and down a beach or eating all the takeaways in sight with the thought of boosting the local economy, just knowing that you are allowed to go out gives freedom in itself, doesn't it?
It really did. It made a difference, and I know it does make a difference for the others that I've spoken to, because we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. And, at the beginning of week 4 or stage 4 of lockdown, it felt like a bit of a cave, didn't it? But now we're seeing actually it's a tunnel, and we're on the way through, and there will be a good ending. There is a good ending.
Well, we're very much looking forward to that. There's a bit of hope on the horizon, but the trick is, I suppose, not to rush too quick on this one. I was talking to Diane just beforehand, and I says, hey, we are less stuck in our bubbles. Does that mean we are perhaps a little bit less safe as well, do you think?
Look, I try to change my thinking around that, and I walk around feeling as though I've got this strength around me that there is no way I'm going to get unwell. I'm going to keep my own immunity up, and I'll practice the distancing myself. I'll take ownership for my own health, and I feel that's one way I can do that anyway. Me stay away and me do the things that are right and not expect others to do it for me. So I'm going to continue to believe that I'm safe.
Mm-hmm. And to take responsibility for our own actions and the consequences of them. There is the pressure, though, if you've been stuck inside all this time, to instead of going, oh, well, maybe I'm just feeling a little bit more relaxed and a bit more free, is to break out and do all of those things that you've missed out on. How do we come out of lockdown in a positive way, Tanya?
Well, it's about easing out of it, isn't it? And instead of thinking that I'm going to be able to get out now and do everything this week, you've got the rest of the month to do it all. You don't have to do everything straight away on day one. Yeah. And isn't it interesting? It's a bit like going on a diet, isn't it? When you come off the diet, all you want to do is eat all the foods that you never ate during that diet. Or
like McDonald's queues, for example, exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. There's a great example of it, isn't it? And, if someone was to tell me, don't look at the Eiffel Tower, all I'm going to want to do is look at the Eiffel Tower. And this is interesting that this is what's happening now. And, I even noticed the other day, that lovely bakery's opened at the top of our street. Oh, I love their cheese bagels.
Oh,
you know what? I can get a cheese bagel next week. It doesn't have to happen today.
Of course, Tanya, now I want a cheese bagel, but...
I'll bring you one next time I'm allowed in the studio. How's that?
That's good. So easing out of lockdown, but also important to not lose some of the lessons that we've learnt in this period.
Embrace the lessons that we've learned. Notice them. I know it's been uncomfortable at times. I know we've all felt cramped, and we've all been with families and members that, normally we'd have a break from. Yeah. But what did you learn? What have you noticed? What was great about it that you can take forth into life from now on, instead of racing out going, oh, man, I need a break from the house? Yeah. Just focus on what was good about it and take those lessons forward.
So I suppose being conscious of the way in which we're reacting, because it is a normal reaction, having been restricted for so long, to want to break out, as it were. But we can slowly ease back into what we used to describe as normal, bringing with us the positive things we've learnt along the way.
Absolutely. And, maybe there will be a new normal that will actually be better. Let's say you, during lockdown, noticed, gosh, I've noticed that we used to spend so much money on takeaway food. Yeah. Let's try and do something from now on where we don't do that. What is something that we can do differently in our relationship now that we've noticed that, hey, it's okay to be together all the time? Yeah. So there are many lessons that we can learn and hold on to them and stack on great new habits. So a lot to be thankful for during lockdown.
There are some things we might also notice that actually need a little bit of work or repair or maintenance, things that have that we've perhaps neglected, that haven't gone so well during level 4, that we can perhaps start to work on as we go through the various levels.
Isn't it a wonderful time to now start doing some relationship rescue, some relationship repair? Maybe you notice, gosh, us being together all this time, notice that there are some things that we can build on and create a deeper relationship, create more intimacy, create more closeness. So there is going to be something great come out of this if you notice it and take the lesson with you.
Yeah.
You may have noticed how, gosh, I can show up differently now when I go back to work. I noticed how differently I worked when I was on Zoom calls. It took more energy. I had to be more present because I was on film all the time. What can I now take back into the office when I go into the office and work differently? So, there's a lot of leaders out there as well who have learnt new things about their staff. So what can you do to enhance some of your staff to help them show up differently now when they come back to work?
It's been described, that level 3 has been described as a bit of a waiting room before we move into the next level there. So a good opportunity to use this time to reflect and say, hey, what have we learnt? What do I need to ease into? What do I want life beyond COVID-19 to look like? An important time to perhaps assess things as we build towards a more positive future.
Absolutely. How can I show up differently on this side of COVID-19?
Well, we certainly appreciate your wisdom along these lines. And, of course, you remain open for business, although with closed doors. People can still get in touch. They can get support and coaching and encouragement and lots of resources available online at your website, Tanya.
Yes, Unkovich.com. Just Google me and you will find me.
Tanya, do enjoy the next stage of level 3, and thanks very much for joining us today.
You are so welcome, and thank you.